first act when defending.
I think it's like
Monaco and Arsenal are pushing for Wahi. There is little doubt that Wahi will leave Montpellier. Now it remains to know where. According to our information, two clubs are engaged in a merciless battle to recruit one of the revelations of the season in Liga this summer. You know, at 20 years of age, he does, you know, he actually can play out wide. He can play up front. Allegedly, Arsenal submitted a bid to go with Monaco as well. Realistically, again, until people are holding the shirts, who know? Now, I'm sure with the laws of the Premier League, the riches, what London are doing with young players, there is good things for him to want to sign for Arsenal. But, you know, Balogun, who's doing quite well in Liga, his future remains undecided. Eddie Nketiah signed a new deal. You have got Trossard and Martinelli who can play up front. And you have obviously got Jesus. Now, for a developing target that's going about, a developing player, sorry, that's going about his business, I don't know away from the reasons to sign for Arsenal if it makes sense, really. He's contracted until 2025. So within the next 18 months, they're going to have to make a decision, people. At just 20 years of age, Wahi never stops breaking records. Apart from Mbappe, there's no one who can sit at his table, statistically speaking, with 30 goals in Liga. He sells on I think that means in total, in very high bases and never ceases to impress. His recent quadruple scored at their stadium is the perfect example of this and has taken him to the stage of an exceptional striker. Despite our current contract until June 2025, Montpellier knows that it will be impossible for him to keep. I think for them, Google Translate is not helping us, to keep their best player beyond this summer, and his match in Reims on behalf of the 38th day of Liga will undoubtedly be the last under the colours of the club. The opportunity for him to score an 18th goal in Liga this season or even more, blah, blah, blah. He said, for now, I'm in Montpellier. We'll see. I'm under contract until 2025. I'll let people concerned do their job. And that's exactly what they do. Already followed this winter, since this winter, by many clubs, as we revealed to you exclusively. Wahi continues to panic many European clubs, seduced by his profile and his enormous margins of progress. Among the formations interested, there are two who are more insistent. That are the others who have taken the lead on the file, namely Arsenal and Monaco. The London club have been following him and supervising the player for many months. Okay, apparently the first contract offer is even about to be made, but if the amount of the latter is not known, it will be whatever happens below the sum requested by Montpellier, and this is saying for between 30 to 35 million euros. Despite this high price, Monaco is also more than ever on the spot. So we'll have to really see what's being said. It goes on to say the possibility of evolving of an intermediate club before spinning in English could be a strong argument for the player and his entourage, even if Wahi seems undoubtedly out of the reach of the finances for Monaco. And you saw what that obviously did for, you know, Tchouaméni, who went from Bordeaux to Monaco. Obviously, it would mean he'd stay in his homeland. It means developed. And again, Monaco would make a handsome profit. So this basically says Monaco are not willing to, they're liking him, and us and Arsenal and Monaco, sorry, are the two clubs hottest on his profile, which the dream is free. Arsenal sold separately. But if it's saying they haven't got the money, then we'll have to see, really and truly. But allegedly, some reports are saying we're putting in an offer. This article is quite sobering. Allegedly, Arsenal are closing in on Caicedo after learning Brighton's asking price. Comment, subscribe, and smash the like button. Brighton are confident that Arsenal will pay Caicedo's transfer fee, which would go a long way to sealing a move to the Emirates Stadium for the Ecuador international. Well, obviously, if we agree terms and pay the money demanded, whatever that is, then yeah. Football Transfers understands that personal terms that Caicedo agreed with Arsenal in January still stand, and the Gunners have held multiple conversations with the players' reps. Furthermore, Arsenal know the Seagulls' asking price, with the South Coast side set to demand 75 million for the 21-year-old. Brighton believe that Mikel Arteta's outfit will agree to that price. There's a possible sting in the tail for the Gunners, with Pochettino and Liverpool's Jurgen Klopp both strong admirers of the player. Football Transfers has been told, however, that Caicedo's aim is to play in the Premier League next season, putting Arsenal firmly in the driving seat to complete the deal. I mean, we're moving ahead for Fresneda, we're moving ahead for Caicedo, allegedly, and we're moving ahead for Declan Rice. It'd be nice to see I's dotted, T's crossed, and ultimately the players signed for the club. Arteta's side are back in for Caicedo after narrowly missing out on him in January. Was it narrow? Because we were bidding and Brighton made it clear you're not leaving. At that point, they felt the deal was virtually concluded, and there is a sense that they are now going to go back in to tidy that up. Arsenal want, how does this affect the Declan Rice transfer? Arsenal want 2 midfielders this summer, so Caicedo does not mean they will pull out of a race for Declan Rice. Rice is also believed to have made Arsenal his top priority for a move in the transfer window, with the Gunners having made exciting progress on this deal. The competition for the 24-year-old is intense, with Man United and Bayern Munich among the leading threats in this case. Chelsea midfielder Mason Mount has also been linked with a possible move to the Gunners, but the England man is an alternative should either of their leading 2 priorities fall through for any reason. De Zerbi has insisted not only Caicedo but McAllister deserve to play for the best team in the world, which I'm biased, I would say Arsenal clearly were not. He has said, I think that can be the last game of Alexis and Caicedo. I'm really sorry, they are 2 great people and 2 great players. Obviously, he's alluding to the last game of the season. The policy of Brighton is like this. I think it's right. They can leave and can change teams and play at an even higher level. We are ready. We have to find other big players to play without Alexis and Moyes. As you know, they fought hard to keep hold of the Ecuadorian international in January. Arsenal and Chelsea were tipped for such. Apparently, Brighton or De Zerbi has tipped the duo to bring in over 120 million for both players. If you ask me about Caicedo and McAllister, I love them. They are 2 big players and can be in a big European team. They can play in every competition and are ready to compete for a big team. And I hope for them they can play in the best team in the world. Allegedly, Arsenal really want to get Declan Rice. Arsenal are targeting Rice, and West Ham, they want to submit after the Conference League final, which is next Wednesday. Bayern Munich interest is true but not advanced. West Ham want more than 100 million. Arsenal want to sign 2 midfielders, a fullback and a centre back. So it says nothing about a right winger and potentially a different striker, despite the fact that we've gone over Wahi. I don't know if Reece Nelson's contract affects anything where another winger is concerned. Apparently, people, this article has said, West Ham sources shared Declan Rice update amid Chelsea, Arsenal, and United links. West Ham have reportedly not received any bids from the clubs in question, people. Which again, for all the talk that we know, there hasn't been any bids. Apparently, this source has said that Arsenal are standing by to make an offer of just about 85 million, saying that is what we believe will be put to use, as there appears to be a lack of money around generally this summer. However, we expect bids from 2 or 3 clubs once we play our last game, as they respect our season is still very much going on. We would have to hope that clubs such as Man United and Chelsea may come in, which of course would see the figures rise, which is true, people. And we have to be prepared to not see any of these moves happen. So with Declan Rice, we'll see. Arsenal and Newcastle are 2 clubs interested in James Maddison, allegedly. There is no hitch in the Granit Xhaka to Bayern Leverkusen deal. Tierney knows game time will increase after Champions League qualification, but wants to start as many games as possible and is hence considering all options. Newcastle boss Eddie Howe tried to sign him for Bournemouth, says Chris Wheatley. We've been linked with Gonzalo, not just us, but Manchester City and Roma, people. We did kind of cover this today, but allegedly he's attracted interest from the Premier League and Serie A. He only joined Leeds last year, people. He has only scored 2 goals, but he does look like a rather exciting prospect, the 19-year-old, who I'm sure wants his future decided early and wants to play in the top 5 league, whether that's staying in the Prem or moving back home to Italy or going elsewhere, as he tries to target an Italian place in the Euro squad for next summer, assuming they're there. Leeds may decide to sell the young talent, and it's thought that Arsenal and Man City are among the Prem teams ready to swoop for Gonzalo. You'd imagine Gonzalo of Leeds could move, the Kyle Walker-Peters, the Lavias, the Livramento, despite his injury, might get interest, and obviously James Ward-Prowse of a couple of teams who have been relegated. Roma, Fiorentina, and Sassuolo are the Italian Serie A clubs who are tempted to sign him. We'll have to see exactly what's going on, and they did try to get him last summer. So we'll have to see exactly what's being done. He did become Italy's youngest goal scorer, breaking a record that has been there since 1958. We'll have to see, people, exactly what's being done. So yeah, man, and they're gonna have to probably let some players go. Turkish outlets are linking Arsenal and Newcastle with Arda Gülar, the 17-year-old, very talented Fenerbahce young player. Apparently, we lead the race. We're leading the race for everyone. Both clubs have made contact with his family, who rep the player over a potential summer move. Talks are still at an early stage, but Arsenal and Newcastle are preparing an offer after being impressed with Gülar this season. Both sides want to move in early, as Gülar is expected to be highly sought after this summer. I mean, Newcastle will be linked with him, Szoboszlai, Gabby Vega, a couple of players over the last 24 hours, people. The 17-year-old has 6 goals and 6 assists in 33 appearances so far this season. Well, in fact, this says he's 18 now. Well, he's got to be 18, and he has been linked with Ozil. stay clear of them comparisons. But this article described him as a versatile attacking midfielder who can play on the wing or through the middle. He's known for his dribbling skills, vision, and passing ability. More one for the long term, not really one to help us immediately with our Champions League qualification. The main option for Gabby Veiga in Spain is now Barcelona. They're ahead of Real Madrid in the race to sign him. There's also other clubs interested. This article has said he's very close to joining Newcastle, people. We've also been linked with Zagova. I can't say his name, but I've done a video on he could be someone to consider. Milan and Napoli are reportedly interested, as well as Arsenal. He's already been linked with a move here, people. Obviously, he's a winger. He's contracted until 2026. He can play up front as well, so that's an area Arsenal probably need. Obviously, we've dealt with Lille for Pepe and Gabriel prior, so that could be where these rumors are coming from. But he has been linked with Napoli, who recently won the Italian First Division, and AC Milan, who did it the year before, people. So we'll have to see. Everyone's going to be linked with everybody. We've been linked with Noah Darvik, who's been one of the stars of the under-17s Euros, people. And this article is linked in with a whole bunch of clubs, people. 16-year-olds, very good. And, you know, Freiburg may face a fight for him. It's no surprise to see him linked with Bayern Munich, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, Ajax. I don't know if you're ready to make the move. You might be one of many. But who knows, man? This is the natural game, really. Arsenal, Man United, and Newcastle have been linked with Marcos Leonardo, who's a very talented young striker over there in Brazil and has done quite well for Brazil, like a number of players at the Under-20s World Cup, people. At the time of this video or reading this article, it's probably changed by now. He has 3 goals. He scored 3 goals in the first 2 games. He's been linked with West Ham, Newcastle, Arsenal, and Man United. Actually, going back to January, people, he's been compared to Sergio Aguero as well. So we have to see. And I think Chelsea are right to scout the whole of the Gambia side, really, if I'm honest with you. So far, he has made 140 appearances and scored 41 goals since making his debut for Santos in 2020. So despite being young, he's got appearances under his belt. But once again, everybody's going to be linked with everyone. He's contracted, until 2026. The agent of Jorginho has said, people, how he's had a very good first 6 months at Arsenal. How is Jorginho's adventure at Arsenal going? 6 beautiful months. Next year, he will make the Champions League, says João Santos. Apparently, have we already talked about the renewal of a contract? Not yet. We have a contract with an option until 2025. For now, we are calm. So that's good for both parties to break away. Allegedly, Real Madrid's stars reps have reached out to the Emirates. Marco Asensio is trying to find a move away from Real Madrid. He's been primarily linked with Aston Villa. Allegedly, his advisors have reached out to Arsenal. I'm sure a whole bunch of other clubs, says Dean Jones. It'll be interesting to see where Asensio lands. I mean, it was 2 or 3 months ago now. Reps were reaching out to Premier League clubs, from what I hear, trying to scope the market to see what might be available for him. Arsenal, one of the clubs at the time that was mentioned to me. So we'll have to see exactly what happens, people. Tomorrow we'll be linked with a whole bunch of other players. Bayern Munich to snatch Vlahovic from Arsenal. On Ivan Fresneda, there was some reports that we placed a bid. Romano has said Arsenal appreciate Fresneda since January, but told they have not sent any official proposal. No concrete negotiations at this stage, and the race remains open with Bayern. Bayern Munich have been interested, but Borussia Dortmund are also interested, and that goes against reports that said we've tabled a lucrative offer for the individual. Smith Rowe is not for sale, according to Ornstein. PSG are plotting a swoop for Martin Odegaard. Alexis is linked with a Premier League return and an Arsenal return. Paris Saint-Germain now ahead of Arsenal for Vlahovic. Milinkovic-Savic could be available for 26 million euros. Arsenal have been offered allegedly Ansu Fati. We're eyeing a move for Elise. We've been over Sacha Boy and Declan Rice previously. Nelson's agreed a new deal at the club. We've been linked with Condé and Rabiot. Make of that what you will, people. We've been linked with Szoboszlai and Dani Almo. So there's been a lot of links and rumors. Everybody's going to be linked with everyone until players are holding shirts and doing interviews on Arsenal.com. Everything is up for debate. Let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed. Check out the rest of the videos. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay blessed, stay safe, and I'll see you lot again soon.
There's always just that active red flag, defending.
I think it's like